quilting friends, it's Carolina Moore, your favorite sewing and quilting YouTuber, and for both our new quilters as well as our experienced quilters, I wanted to talk about some of the tools and supplies we'll be needing for the 2024 Block of the Month calendar. I'm so excited about this calendar. If you haven't already got yours, go ahead and find the video. There should be a link up here as well as in the description for you to find the video with all the details on it. And you can get that calendar. I'll ship it out to you so that you have it for this block of the month. So this block of the month is 12 months. Each month is a 9-patch calendar. So each month is a 9-patch block. And it also has a full calendar. Now the full calendar is so much fun because instead of putting traditional holidays on there, what I did for you is I put all the non-traditional holidays that us quilters should know about, like Thread the Needle Day, Safety Pin Day for all of our basting, No Housework Day, and of course our Quilt Shop Day and Quilting Month, Sewing Month, all those kinds of things. So those are the holidays that you'll find on this calendar, and every month there is a pattern for a block, and at the end there are finishing instructions so you can make a finished quilt. So let's dive in and talk about the tools we're going to be using. So I have my table all set up to start block 1, and I wanted to talk about the different tools. We'll start over here and we'll work our way across. So the first is I have my wool pressing mat and a mini iron. I like the Olfa mini iron. This is what I'll use in most of my videos that you see on this channel. And I have the Olfa wool mat as well. You can use whatever iron and whatever mat you like. As long as it does a good press, you are fine with whatever iron and whatever mat you like. I have all of my fabrics. I pre-starched all my fabrics before cutting them. So I got the yardage off the bolt and then I starched it really well. I have a whole video on starching and I'll link that here as well so you can check out that starching video. So all my fabric is starched, which is going to help when putting everything together. The starch keeps the fibers, so fabric is woven with fibers in this direction and fibers in this direction, and they cross over and under each other. And when you put starch in there, it secures those fibers. It almost like glues them together. So we like having starch in our fabrics to keep all of our fabrics from the fibers from going wonky. It keeps everything much crisper, much cleaner. All right, so here I have a mat, and I am using a rotating mat here. It'll make things easy if I need to spin or turn anything. You can use any mat you like, but this is the rotating mat that I will be using in these videos. I also have a 7/8 inch ruler, and I wanted to talk about this because there's quite a few times where we're cutting 7/8 inch, and cutting 7/8 inch is a little frustrating sometimes because if you're cutting a 7/8 inch piece, the 7/8 inch mark is always that smallest mark on the ruler. But here I'm cutting 2 7/8. The 2 7/8 mark is the biggest on the ruler, so it makes it really easy for me to line this up and cut, line it up, and cut again. Sometimes seeing these lines accurately is a challenge, so that's where a spot on dot is helpful. This is a notion that I invented that magnifies those lines so that you can see them better. These stick to your ruler, and that way you can make sure that you're lining everything up. You can put them wherever you want, and they stick right on there, so when you move your ruler, they stay put for cutting piece after piece. So those are spot on dots, and those can be helpful when cutting. I also have a regular 45mm rotary cutter. I like the Olfa Splash. Those are my favorite, but any rotary cutter brand you have is great. You definitely want a sharp blade. A sharp blade is safer because you don't have to use as much pressure when you cut. So less pressure means more control. Also, if you're going to get cut with a blade, which we really hope doesn't happen, but if you're going to get cut with a blade, getting cut with a sharp blade is actually safer than getting cut with a dull blade because it is easier to stitch up at the hospital, and you'll get a cleaner, it creates a cleaner wound. So while we hope we don't get cut, a sharp blade is safer for multiple reasons. I have just some fabric scissors. I can use these for cutting off dog ears. I also have these little thread snips that I'll use for cutting thread, and there is a thread cutter on the side of my Baby Lock Jubilant that I can use as well. I have a pincushion. This is the one that was sitting here. This is my Christmas pincushion, but this is actually made with the simple pincushion pattern. I can link that for you. It's a free pattern, but this is a easy, simple pincushion, and every now and then we'll pin, but not a lot. And then I do have a fabric marking pencil. Fabric marking pencil, great for marking fabrics. We'll also be using a couple different ways to make half square triangles, depending on the size and depending on how big your runway is on your sewing machine. So what I mean by runway is how much space you have right here. If you have enough space here on your runway, you can use diagonal seam tape. This roll, it's really been well used and well loved. I use a lot of diagonal seam tape, and I also bring it to classes and share it with students. So diagonal seam tape, and you don't want it over your feed dogs. So let me pull this out of the way, and I'm just going to cut this clean with scissors because we are going to be using it the whole time. It does cover up my bobbin case, but I'm okay with that because it is just so handy. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that diagonal seam tape. And then one more thing before I put this all the way down is I'm going to lift it up, and I'm going to grab out another presser foot. So I have my 1/4 inch with guide presser foot, and then I also want more of a standard presser foot. A J foot would also be fine, but when you're sewing the lines on half square triangles, you want a presser foot that doesn't have a guide because that'll get in your way. So I'm going to use 2 different presser feet on this project. So we're going to take those out already. And I'm going to put my diagonal seam tape right back. So those are all the tools that I have handy when I'm working on this project. Some of them are optional. You don't have to have diagonal seam tape, and you don't have to have this ruler. You can use your regular ruler and a marking pencil. You don't have to have a fancy marking pencil. You can use a regular mechanical pencil. That works great for marking lines. So that's another spot that you don't need to spend a bunch of extra money. I'm using a rotating cutting mat because I have one, and so it's fun to use. But if you don't have one, unless you want an excuse to run out and go get one, you don't need to go get a rotating cutting mat. You'll be fine with the cutting mat that you already have. And obviously you don't need to have my favorite rotary cutter. Have a rotary cutter, but it should have a sharp blade. Friends, I hope that helps you out with the tools and supplies that you'll want to have handy for the 2024, I can't believe I'm saying that, 2024 block of the month. I'm really looking forward to sewing this together with you. So if you have any questions or comments, leave those down below. I'll be happy to answer all of those for you. Make sure you subscribe to this channel so that you get notifications when I have these block of the month videos up, and have a lot of videos that I'm going to be sharing with y'all over the next year as well. So you don't want to miss those. And give this video a thumbs up to let folks that know that they should be joining the block of the month as well. That's all for today, my friends. I will see you right here real soon with another video, and on January 1st with our 2024 block of the month January video. That's all for today, my friends. I will see you right here real soon. Bye for now.